Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Sarah Louise. So today I wanted to do a video on the hot topic, Russell Brand. So I'd like to start by saying that when I do these videos and I do bring in current affairs, I prefer to talk about sort of bigger, broader spiritual topics, not the actual incident themselves. I probably just don't know enough about. I'd be the first person to say I do not know. As none of us do. And that's the thing, like, you can't jump on a side without having all the information at your disposal. One thing that I will say is that I actually do have the tiniest bit of insight because I did used to have a friend who back in the day did have an experience with this person, and that's their experience. And I will say that I can totally believe that he was quite a dominating character, probably thought every woman fell at his feet, obviously was on a lot of drugs and alcohol, and I think will admit himself. I don't really watch him. I've never been drawn to his videos, even recently, for some reason. I don't know why. I've just never really felt energetically connected to him. Or the videos that he puts out, but I'm aware of him, and I'm aware of who he was and who he portrays now, and I can totally believe that there was a much darker spiritual side, some narcissistic tendencies. This is all in my opinion only, not making any character assessments about anybody. And I can definitely see how a lot of women could have been left upset in a trail of that kind of behavior at the height of his fame. And I think he will talk about that quite openly in his books. As to how far it went or what went on, I have no idea. I don't want to pass comment on that, and I don't really think anybody should be right now, because where I question it is, okay, so investigators dig around, because that's how it seems to have happened, was they contacted hundreds of women that had an interaction that they found on social media or whatever, asked them all, and 4 people obviously came forwards, and they were selected to give their opinion with a shadow and a fake name and a fake voice. So I wouldn't put that much on that story at this point. For me, it's like, why is this being spoken about in the press? Why is it not being spoken about to the police and an investigation started? So that's my opinion on that. Is I think if there's something really there that's a lot more than what is out there already that he's admitted, then it's a police investigation. It's not for the media, in my opinion. It's passed over now. No one should make, I hate this guilty before there's been any real trial, and someone's reputation is ruined. But this isn't really what this video was meant to be about. It's become very clear to me, as I think it should most of us, that there's obviously some concerted effort that when somebody starts to speak about topics that are not what the media or the higher powers want us to hear, those people are cancelled. It's always the same thing. There's always some sexual thing brought up, and they are just taken off every single platform, removed, and that's that. And I really honestly believe this is the pattern that happens. I think when these young celebrities are beginning their careers, I think that this behavior is encouraged, and you only have to look back. No one ever said anything. Actually, people laughed along with his jokes. They encouraged it. He was promoted so heavily by the media when he was saying what they wanted him to say, and he was sort of on the more left side, as you want to call it. He was heavily promoted, and you're telling me they didn't know all these things, and they didn't see these things? No, they covered them up, probably highly encouraged them. Like I said, I'm just giving my opinion, don't have any facts on any of this, but I think you start to notice a pattern that these people, they're supported, they're heavily promoted, they're covered up for, and then as soon as they come out there and start saying something that's against the narrative, boom, all of it is dredged up from the past, sort of 10, 15, 20 years later. And, you know, their life is over, their career is over, and everyone jumps on with their flaming, burning pitchforks and doesn't really even investigate the evidence. They've just read it in the paper, so that's that. And I do really think this is how all these celebrities are silenced and kept on the narrative so much, because I think they just walk them to their own, you know, they walk them to their own grave, really. They allow it all, they cover it up for them, they encourage it, they probably push it. And then, you know, when they then come out and say something they don't like, they've got all this backlog of evidence that they can just boom, you know? Like if this had come out 7 years ago, 10 years ago, before Russell Brand completely changed, you know, had a family, is married, you never really hear about him in the press doing any of these things anymore. He's come out, he's admitted it, he's been to therapy, he's worked on himself, and, you know, these things that are coming out, they're an old person that he isn't anymore, or at least, you know, from what we can see. Obviously I don't know him personally, and that's where I have the problem. You know, this is the kind of stuff that, had it come up 10 years ago, I think it had a right to come up 10 years ago. I'm sure there was a lot of behaviour that, even if it wasn't illegal, wasn't really appropriate, wasn't really a kind thing to be doing. And, you know, yet it was supported back then. People laughed with it, it was highlighted, it was given air TV. And now all of a sudden, you know, these same clips that they were promoting are being shown as a negative thing. You know, you make your mind up, TV. You know, you're promoting certain clips, putting them on mainstream television after you've assessed them, and you're using those same clips now to try and condemn somebody for, you know, behavior. And, you know, in my opinion, this is how it works. This is why people in that world often don't come forward, and they just comply and they just go along with the narrative. And that's why we, you know, and people that speak out, this is what happens to them. You know, they get targeted, they'll dig up any dirt they can on them. And, you know, in my opinion, this is stuff that, yeah, like I said, if there really is criminal activity, that's there for the police. It is not there for media programs, money making, in my opinion. And the same thing happened with so many people. And I don't know, I don't have the insights. I don't know whether these people were guilty or not. I can't say. I haven't looked at the body of evidence, nor have any of you. No one can say someone's guilty from a few shadow interviews, but then no one can say they're not guilty either. But you know, the same exact pattern has happened with so many people now. It has to be looked at and seen for the transparency. You know, look at Michael Jackson. He starts speaking out against the powers that be, and then he dies, and then these two guys come out and share their experience again in the media. You know, in my opinion, the place for all this is in a court of law, not on a television show. That's the way I feel about it. And what are your opinions? In my opinion, I just think, you know, we have to be really careful. We're being polarized all the time. And the thing is that once you have an opinion, like whether it's mainstream, anti-government, then your algorithm is just going to show you more. And it's very difficult to get an unbiased opinion these days, because we're just all so polarized. And, you know, if someone has a different truth to you or a different opinion, it's no longer enough that they just have a different opinion. You know, we have to hate them as a person, and we have to like put them down or cancel them, or say they don't deserve to have any public videos out there at all because their opinion is different to mine. And we have to be really careful of this. You know, gone are the days when we can just sit and have civil conversation from different opinions, and just accept that we have different opinions. But anyway, yeah, let me know what you think about this topic in the comments, and yeah, I will speak soon. Bye bye.